Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
So, shall we start the chapter? So, I'll be reading out the Mangalacharan and you can follow up with me. Okay. Om Agyana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manoabhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Shagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadavaitam Savadutam Parijan Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpataru Bhascha Kripa Sindhu Bhavevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So this was the Mangalacharan. We usually recite the Mangalacharan before starting reading of Bhagavad Gita. So whenever we read, we can whenever you read at home, you start the Mangalacharan which is given in the introduction part. Okay. So we are starting today 15th chapter, that is called Yoga of the Supreme, Purushottam Yoga. Okay, how to become Purushottam, how to attach ourselves to Krishna, the Yoga of the Supreme Person, how to become detached. That is being discussed in this chapter. Okay, so let's start today's chapter. We pay our humble obeisances to the deities of the Mangaluru temple. Okay, Radha Govind, the deity of Radha Govind. Okay. So this is chapter number 14. In detail, we have discussed about the chapter number 14, the three modes. Okay. So first, section A, sloka number 1 to 4, liberation and the conditioning of the living entity. Okay. How we are conditioned by the three modes, we have discussed that. Then section B, 5 to 9 sloka, description of binding of the pure soul by the three modes. How the pure soul is getting bind by the three modes. Then section C, 10 to 13, recognizing the supremacy of mode within a person. So sometimes one mode become predominant, sometimes other mode become predominant. So one mode is predominant, other mode is like not dominant, non-dominant. Okay, like that. And it depends on the person which mode he want to be, the desire of the person. So we see every thing which is there in the nature is under the three modes, and it depends on us which mode we want to be in. Okay, we can change our modes. Okay, that is the thing. So recognizing the supremacy of mode within a person. Then D part, 14 to 18, actions and that within the modes. One person who is acting, what is the result of that thing, and a person who die in a certain mode, where he goes. Okay, that we have discussed in D part, that is 14 to 18. Then last part, that is section E, 19 to 27, transcending the modes. How we can transcend the modes, how we can transcend the three modes, and how we can become in the mode of Suddha Satoguna. And we have we also read that why we should transcend. Okay, so to understand the science of devotion, we need to transcend the three modes, and we need to achieve the mode of Vasudeva state, or called that is called Suddha Satoguna. Okay, so that mode. So that we have read these things, the attachment, there are three modes. Okay, and now in chapter number 15, we will be seeing the fourth section. Total sloka is 20. So first 1 to 5 sloka, becoming detached from the material world. Okay, So the detached part, the initial section of this chapter number 15 is describing the detachment part. How we can detach ourselves from the material world. That process is being described here. Second part, the section B, sloka number 6 to 11, Purushottam Yoga, transmigration. So law of transmigration, how a living entity, when death comes, how a living entity change the body. And according to what he gets a new body. Okay, what the things are, the things which determines the next body, that we are going to discuss in the second part, that is called transmigration, law of transmigration. So many laws are there, law of gravity, law of motion. There is one law of transmigration is also there. Okay. Then third, section C, 12 to 15 sloka, Purushottam Yoga, Krishna's position as maintainer, how Krishna is maintaining us. Okay, that we are going to see at D part. 16 to 20, Purushottam Yoga, the three sloka Bhagavad Gita, that is called three shloki Bhagavad Gita, summarizing the Veda and the Vedanta kinds of living and the Vedanta kinds of living entity. So what are the kinds of living entity? Two kinds of living entity, fallible and infallible. Those we are going to see in the last part. That is called three shloki Gita. Okay. So let's start. That is section A, that is 15.1 to 15.5, becoming detached from the material world, the reflection of the spiritual world. Okay. So very nicely, Krishna describes first a tree. Okay. And he describes how this tree belongs to this material world and how we can become detached from this tree. Okay. This tree represents the material world. Okay. So what is that tree? So Krishna is describing Sri Bhagavanu Vacha. Yes, Mataji.
Yes. Shri Bhagavanuvacha Urdhvamulam Adashakam Ashvatam Prahuravyayam Chandamsi Yasya Parnani Yastam Veda Savedavid.
Okay. Urdhva Moolam Adha Sakam. Urdhva means up, Moolam is root. So tree, one Krishna is describing one tree whose roots are up. Urdhva, Moolam. Mool is the root. Okay, so root is up, Adha Sakam. Shakha is down. Okay, so the root is up, Shakha is down. Ashwatham Prahur Avyayam. There is Ashwatham. This is a like banyan tree. Prahur Avyayam. Okay, Prahur Avyayam means this is Avyayam. This is eternal. This imperishable banyan tree. This banyan tree is imperishable, whose roots are up and the branches are down. Chandamsi yasya paranani. The leaves are like chanda. Okay, Chandamsi. Chandamsi yasya paranani means the leaves are like Vedic hymns. Okay, Yasatam Veda Savedavit. The person who knows this, Vedavit, he is the actual knower of Veda. Okay, so the person who knows this actual knower of Veda. So Krishna is describing this tree. Okay, so the roots are up, branches are down, and the leaves are Vedic hymns. Leaves are Vedic hymns. The person who knows this tree is the actual knower of Veda. So we'll describe this tree in a little bit later. Okay. So that is the description of tree. So this tree actually is not, we can, in actual world, we don't see this tree. Okay. But we see actual trees, we haven't seen any actual tree like this, but we have seen this tree in the when we go to riverside, we see the reflection of the tree on the water. We see that tree is there where the roots are up, branches are down, but that is not the actual tree, that is the reflection. This type of tree not actually present in the material world. And we have this perception, we have this realization that this type of tree is there, which is the reflection of the original tree. Okay, so that is the one thing. So this material world, text number 1, material world, upside down banyan tree. Okay, so there is the, you see this water, so actual tree will be there, and there will be water, and in water we see the reflection. So the spiritual world will be there, which is the actual tree. And this material world is just like the opposite tree, the inverted tree, which is just like reflection. And that reflection is called perverted reflection. Perverted reflection. You see, the material world is described as an upside down banyan tree. Then why entire material world is compared to a banyan tree? Because for one engaged in fruitive act, there is no end to this banyan tree, which is very, very deep rooted. Actually, the banyan tree, you see, so deep rooted. What is the peculiar in banyan trees? The banyan tree is so much deeply rooted, and the so many other roots will be also there. Accessory roots. Some roots will be coming down, some roots will be going up. like that. Okay. And the person, what the person is doing in this material world, this banyan tree, jumping from one branch to another, jumping from one branch to another in search of the fruit. Okay, one monkey is there. Okay, so the monkey is on the river side. So he saw the one banana is there in the river. He jumped in the river, but actually when he went to that site where he was seeing the banana, there was no banana. So he saw, acha, acha, there is another banana in another place, just a little bit distant. So he went to that place also. No banana was there. Those things were actually the reflection only. The actual banana was in the tree which is above. So same condition ours also. We are in this material world, the perfected reflection. We are searching for the fruits. We are searching for the happiness. But actually happiness is not there. What we are doing in search for happiness? We are jumping from one branch to another. Okay, with no end. Jumping. So many desires we have, and we are jumping from one branch to another, just like the monkey. Okay, so you see, we wander from one branch to another with no end. Okay, what is the purpose of the Vedic hymns? Okay, to elevate oneself gradually from the material condition to the spiritual world. This Krishna says, one who knows this tree is the actual knower of Veda. Okay, one who knows this tree, that this is the material tree, we have to cut down this tree. This tree is not real. We have to cut down this tree. We have to cut down. Actual purpose of Veda is to know Krishna and to go back to Krishna Loka. Actual purpose of Veda is that, to get liberation. Okay, to go back to Krishna Loka, to achieve love of Krishna. That is the actual aim of the Veda. And a person who knows this material tree is the actual of the Veda. He knows how to go out of this world. Okay, so that is the thing. That is the actual knower of the Veda thing is described. Why understand this tree of illusion? Because one who understands this indestructible tree of illusion can get out of it by sword of detachment. One who knows this tree can have that detachment. Okay. What is the process of extrication? Devotional service is the best way, as explained by all chapters. Detachment from material activity and process of attachment by transcendental. So we'll be reading these things later. Okay. So upside down, the tree is there, and full tree is, see, the full tree is compared to like Veda. Okay. Chapter 15 refutes impersonalism, which says that spiritual world consists of undifferentiated Brahman only. So what does it mean to know the Vedas? Okay. So Vedas means, it means that one knows how to cut off the attachment to this material world. Veda means Yastam Veda Savedvita. One who knows this is the actual knower of the Veda. It means that one who knows how to cut off the attachment to this material world. That is the actual knower of Veda. The actual knower of Veda will know how to cut the attachments from this material world. Okay. One who is attracted by ritualistic Vedic formula is just attracted by the beautiful green leaves of the banyan tree and does not know the purpose of the Veda. So many green leaves will be there. Vedic hymns. The person who is attached to the ritualistic Vedic formula. Ritualistic Vedic formula means some person will be like, I want full money, I want good son, I want this, I want that. It means materialistic thing. They will be using the Veda for that purpose, and they are attached to that. Okay, so they are not knowing the actual purpose of Veda. They are just focusing on the leaf of a tree. Okay, so that is the meaning. So the second sloka, the branches of this tree extend downward and upward. So just like banyan tree will have upside, downside, both side branches will be there. So branches of this tree extend downwards and upwards, nourished by the three modes of material nature. The twigs are the object of the senses. The tree has also roots going down, and they are bound to the fruitive actions of the human society. So now we are going to see the tree. Okay. So the upside down tree we are going to see. So you see this? Actually, so this tree you see, This is the tree. Brahmaji is sitting on the upside, the root. So Brahmaji is the originator of all the three Veda, and he is sitting at the highest planet. So this tree is representing the material world, and material world starts from Brahma Loka. Okay, so Brahma Loka is the highest Loka in the material world. So Brahmaji is sitting at the highest part. Okay, and lower part you see Devi Devatas are there. Okay, demigods are there. So Ganesh Ji is there, Saraswati is there, and Saraswati Ma is there, and this is Indra Devi is there. So many people are there. Upper planetary system. You will come down, you will see Gandharvas, you will see Apsaraj Gandharvas, so little lower. Little lower, you will see the humans, okay? Humans, the men. So they are working, they are getting the fruits. The fruits are compared to Dharma, Artha, Kama. Moksha is here. So Dharma, Artha, Kama. So Artha is here, Dharma is here, Kama is here. So these are the fruits. So fruits are Dharma, Artha, Kama. Okay, so they are working and they are working for the fruits. So Dharma, Artha, Kama. And the leaves are like Vedic hymns. Okay, then you will see, you will come down, you will see lower animals are there, lower animals. Okay, and then you will see some branches are going up, some branches are going down. Up are the pious activity. They can elevate the living entity from lower to upper part, and from the upper part to lower part, it can degrade by the impious activity. So these are the things in this material world, or this material tree. Okay, and you see the tree is situated on desires. Okay, desires. So the desire is the only thing which is separating the spiritual and material world. Okay, we are in the material world or we are in the spiritual world. Only thing that differentiates us is the desire. If we have the desire, wrong desires, desire to lord over, we'll have this material world. If we are in correct desire means desire to serve Krishna, then we'll be in the spiritual world. So that desire part is only separating. Okay, so the desire is there. So you see, material world is a tree nourished by the three modes and fruitive acts. So fruitive act and the three modes. Different species manifest according to the proportion of the modes. So some species who have more in the mode of goodness, they will have body according to that. Some species, they will have mode of passion more, they will have species according to that. So different modes, species are divided. Sometimes we find of land is barren for what of sufficient water, for want of sufficient water, and sometimes the track is very green, sometimes barren track, sometimes green track. Similarly, where particular mode of material nature are proportionally greater in quantity, the different species of life are manifested accordingly. So what type of things are there? Sometimes if Satoguna is there, then the living entity will take body according to that. Sometimes Rajoguna is more, than the living entity take body according to that. So based on different types of modes, the living entity will take different types of body. Okay. So you see, if you read the purpose, it will be described about the tree. The tree is described like that. Okay. So it is the spiritual tree, eternal spiritual tree, and this is the temporary reflection of the tree, the material tree. Okay. So we are going to read what is described about the banyan tree in the chapter. So reflecting medium, about the reflecting medium. Original tree is the spiritual, the desires, perverted reflections. So whatever desires we have, according to that we are. So original tree is the spiritual tree, and the material tree is the temporary tree. Okay, temporary reflection, and the reflection is based on the desires. Nourishment, how it is getting nourished. This tree is growing. How this tree is growing? Based on the three modes of nature: goodness, passion, ignorance. Three modes are nourishment for this tree. Then roots. What is the root of this tree? The real root of this material existence grow upward, topmost planet of the universe, the Brahma Loka. Okay, the real root is up. The secondary roots are in the human planetary systems, Bhuloka, and grow downwards and spread in all direction. Okay, so secondary tree is growing above all the direction. Subsidiary roots are attachment and aversion, which are byproduct of different variety of suffering and sense enjoyment. Subsidiary roots are also there, which are attachment and aversions. Tendency towards piety and impiety are considered to develop from these secondary roots. So secondary roots are there, and from there, the piety, impiety will develop. So like that, so many roots are described. Real root is there, secondary root is there, subsidiary root is there. Okay. Branches. How the branches are? Branches can go up, branches can go down. So these represent the 14 planetary systems. Okay. 14 planetary systems. Then various manifestations. Lower part of the branches are human being, animal, horses, car, dog, cats, etc., etc. Upper parts are demigods, Gandharva, and many other higher species of life. So lower planetary system, upper planetary system, these are various manifestations. Leaves, what the leaves represent? The Vedic hymns, ritualistic formula of the Veda. Okay. And the twigs, twigs means small branches. Okay. That represent the sense object like sound, form, touch, etc. And the tip of the branches, they are collecting information, no? Tip of the branches. So they are senses, eye, ear, nose, etc. Fruits are the four things: dharma, artha, kama, moksha. These are karma of the jiva: dharma, artha, kama, moksha. These are the fruits. And the living entity, how it is involved, hops from one branch to another, trying to taste the fruits. So he's jumping from one branch to another, trying to enjoy the fruits. Cannot see how far the tree extends or where it ends. We cannot see how far the tree is going up, how the far the tree is going down. Although living entity are the eternal fragmental part of Krishna, they are struggling with the senses. It will come later. Okay, this is 15.7 sloka. How we are struggling with our senses here. Okay, so these are the thing which is described in this about the in the purports. Okay, then comes the detachment part. So you see, the real form of this tree cannot be perceived in this world. We cannot see what is the end of this tree. No one can understand where it ends, where it begins, and where its foundation is. But with determination, one must cut down this tree with the weapon of detachment. So we should cut down this tree. And what is the weapon? The detachment. Detachment is there, the weapon, so that we can cut down this tree. So doing, one must seek that place from which, having once gone, one never returns, and there surrenders to that Supreme Personality of Godhead from whom everything has begun and in whom everything is abiding since time immemorial. What is the formula? Formula is surrender to that Supreme Personality of Godhead. If you want to become detached, what is the way of detachment? The way of detachment is surrendering to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, so we must cut down this material tree. How we can cut down? We can cut down through detachment. How to become detached? By surrendering to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that is there in this sloka. Okay. So what is there? The real form of this tree cannot be perceived in this world. Use the axe of detachment, use the sword of detachment to cut down this material tree. This tree is not real, but a reflection of the real tree. This tree which is there, it is not the real tree, it is just a reflection. Impossible to fully understand the real tree. Solution is cut down this tree with the determination, with the axe of detachment. With detachment, we can cut down this material tree. Then one must go beyond the tree and surrender to Supreme Personality of Godhead. Why real form of tree cannot be understood? Why we cannot understand the real form? Because the root is up and extension is at the utter end. When we are entangled in the material expansion, one cannot see how far the tree extends and where it is beginning. Okay. How to find out the cause? What is the cause of, who is the cause? Father's father, father. It will extend to the Brahmaloka, to the Garbhodaksha Vishnu, to Krishna. From Brahmaloka to Garbhodaksha Vishnu to Krishna Loka. That way we can extend and we can see what is the cause. Krishna is the end of the research work. Finally, we'll go back to go back to that Krishna is the cause. How to search out that origin? From association of person in knowledge of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Who has already seen the truth, that person can show us the truth. What are the benefit of this knowledge? Just one. Okay, so what are the benefit of this knowledge? Gradually become detached from the false reflection. Cut of this connection actually become situated in the real tree. Okay, so first we should know that this tree is there and that tree is not real. This world is not real. The world we are living in, that is not actually, that is real only, but that is a perverted reflection. This world is perverted reflection. Actually, Krishna says, um, this tree, imperishable banyan tree. The banyan tree is imperishable. Okay, Shashvat. So that the tree is not like, it is not real. It is not unreal. So this tree is also real, but the tree is just like a perverted reflection of original tree. Okay, so that is the thing. The importance of the word asanga, detachment. So detachment is very nicely described. That how we can cultivate this detachment. How we can cultivate is with attachment. Okay, when we attach ourselves to Krishna, detachment comes naturally. So Krishna says this, we should cut down this tree with the axe of detachment, with the sword of detachment, and detachment can come by surrendering to Krishna. Okay, so that is the thing. Importance of the word asanga. So asanga is already described in this. So asanga shastre. So, but with determination, one must cut down this strongly rooted tree with the weapon of detachment. So this was described. Detachment is the only way out of the tree. How? Find out one in knowledge. Find out one in knowledge. Then surrender to him. Surrender to him. Surrender to Lord. Then attain the eternal abode. So detachment is the only way out. When we attach ourselves to Krishna, then we detach from the material things. Okay. But
Hare
who will
Krishna.
be able to detach? What is the qualification of the person who will be able to detach? Okay, what is the qualification? So the qualification to become detached is mentioned in this sloka. Okay. Yes, Mataji, please.
निर्माणमोहजितसङ्गदोषाः अध्यात्मनित्यविनिवृत्तकामाः द्वन्द्वे नित्यमुक्तसुखदुःखसंज्ञैः गच्छन्त्यमूढपदमव्ययं तत्.
So those who are free from false prestige, illusion, and false association, who understand the eternal, who are done with material lust, who are freed from dualities of happiness and distress, and who, unbewildered, knows how to surrender to Supreme Person, attain to that eternal kingdom. Who knows how to surrender to Krishna? So these are the quality of the person who can detach themselves, who can surrender to Krishna and detach themselves. Nirmama moha jita sanga dosa. Nirmama. So all these qualities are being described in next slide. We will be reading. Who will be able to surrender to the Supreme Person? What is the qualities of the person who will be able to surrender to the Supreme Person? What are the qualities? Nirmama. Mama is mine. Nirmama is no sense of proprietorship, false pride. Okay, this thing is mine, that thing is mine. Actually, nothing is mine. Everything is Krishna. Okay, so that is called one who is free from false prestige and pride. Nirmama, nothing is mine. No sense of proprietorship. Who is free from false prestige and pride. That is called Nirmama. And if a person has false pride, then he will have moha. If a person is falsely associated, he will have, if he is thinking this thing is mine, that thing is mine, then from there comes the moha. Okay. Freedom from illusion. Okay. That is the second quality, freedom from illusion. Jita Sangha Dosha means freedom from false association. When a person who is free from illusion, he will be free from false association also. Okay. False association. Then Adhyatma Nitya, understand the eternal, who is free from false association, who is free from illusion, who is free from false prestige. He can understand his nature, his Adhyatma. Okay. What is his Adhyatma? Is to surrender to Krishna, understand the eternal. Okay. Dandvair Vimukta, freedom from duality. Who has understood this Adhyatma? Who has understood that he is not this body, he is soul, and his sole purpose is to surrender to Krishna. He is Dandvair Vimukta. He is freedom. He has freedom from the duality. He is not now bewildered with the changes of the outside world. He is not bewildered by the happiness. He is not bewildered by the distress. Nothing. Okay. Vinivritta kama, done with the material lust and unbewildered. So these qualities are there. Okay. These are the person who will be able to surrender to the Supreme Person. Okay. And then they will have detachment. Who will be able to detach? Who is surrendered to Krishna, who is attached to Krishna. That person will be able to detach from this material world. Now, if you are not detached, then what will happen? If you are attached to the material world, what will happen? So that is called the transmigration, how a living body change his body. Okay. So in this sloka, Krishna described how the eternal world looks like. Okay. So he is describing. Yes.
Na tad bhasayate surya yat katvana nivartante tadhama paramam mama.
Very nicely, Krishna is describing his world. Okay. Actually, only few slokas are there only which describe Krishna Loka in the Bhagavad Gita. Brahma Samhita is there. It's fully describing, very nicely describing how the this spiritual world looks like. And when you read the purpose, Prabhupada will be describing very nicely. But very few slokas are only there where Krishna describe about this his world. Okay, and Krishna describing in this world. He's saying, Na tad bhashyate suryo, na shashanko, na pavakaha, na tad bhashyato. Na means no, tad means there. Bhashyate suryo. There is no need of sun for the illumination. Na tad bhashyate suryo, na sasanko, na pavaka. Shashanko means moon, pavaka means fire, electricity. So there is no need of fire, there is no need of sun, there is no need of moon for the illumination in that planet, our planet, my planet. Yad gatvana nivartante, and there is one more quality of that planet. Yad gatvana nivartante, one who goes there, na nivartante, he doesn't come back to this material world. Tadadhama paramam mama, that dham, paramam mama, that dham is paramam mama. Okay. That abode, that is the spiritual abode, paramam, that dham is paramam, that paramam dham is mine. Okay, Krishna is describing. You see, that abode of mine is not illuminated by the sun or moon nor by electricity. One who reaches it never return to this material world. Yad gatvana nivardante. Once we go back to that dham, Krishna's dham, we don't come back to this material world. Okay, so you see, this person, we are here in this material world, and this is the spiritual world where from rocket we cannot come to this place. Okay, and this person is coming to this place. How? You see, what is there? Nam is the biggest rocket we have through which we can come to this spiritual world. Nam is the strongest weapon, strongest medium through which we can connect to the Supreme Person. Kali Yuga Dharma, Nam. Okay, very powerful. Nam is the most important thing which we have in the Kali Yuga. Okay, so we should be like so much attached to the Nam. We should be so much attached to taking the name of the Lord. We can leave all the activity of the world, but at least daily we should chant. We should fix number of rounds. We'll be chanting 4 rounds, and that number of rounds we should never leave. 4 rounds. Okay, and we should not one person, it is said, one person who is not strong in this determination that I should be chanting, that person is not strongly determined for the spiritual progress. Okay, one person who wants spiritual progress, he should be chanting. Okay, like that. Nam we should never leave. That is the strongest thing which we have in this world. Okay, the spiritual thing, and we should be never leaving our rounds. Fix the round. At least 4 rounds I will be chanting. Never leave that round. Okay, never leave that round. If you have not finished the round, do not sleep. Like that. Finish the round, then sleep. That determination you should have. That name I am not going to leave. This is the only spiritual thing which we have. So many things we are doing throughout the day. From the starting of the morning, we do all the material activity, do many things which we do. No spiritual things we are doing. The Nam is the only thing which we have. And once we, and for that, we should be determined enough that we should be completing our rounds. Okay, so that is the thing. That should be the determined. We should be determined. We should never leave the rounds, our rounds. That is the only spiritual things which we have, and we need to do. Okay, so that is the thing. The Naam. See, this person is going from this world to this world through the Naam. Okay. So characteristics of Lord's abode is Tadadhama Paramam Mama is that abode is not illuminated by sun, moon, fire, or electricity. Once attained, one never returns to this material world. Okay. Krishna Loka.
Mamaivansho jivaloke jivabhutas sanatanaha manasashtanindriyani prakritittani karshati.
Karshati. This material world in the Karshati means struggling very hard. Okay, so we are actually part and parcel of Krishna. The spiritual world we have seen, material world is there, the spiritual world is there, material world is there. So we have left that spiritual world, we have come to this material world. We want to lord over in this material world. But what we are doing in the name of lording over, we are Karsati. Karsati means we are struggling very hard in this material world. Actually, Mame Vanso Jiva Loke. So we are part and parcel of Krishna. Mame Vanso. Amsa. We are Ams of Krishna. We are part and parcel of Krishna. Okay. Mame Vamso Jiva Loke. So all the Jiva which is there in this Loka are part and parcel of Krishna. Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. Manah Shastrendriyani. We are struggling very hard. Why? Because of our Indriya and Mana. 6 Indriya. Shastrendriyani. Shast means 6. 6 Indriya. 5 are the Indriya. Nose, eyes, tongue, then ears and the touch, okay, skin. So these are the 5 Indriya and 1 is Mana. 6 Indriyas are there. And due to this 6 Indriya, we are struggling very hard in this material world. Actually, we are part and parcel of Krishna. But we have the tendency, we want to lord over this material world. We came to this material world and we are struggling very hard. No happiness in there. Okay, so Krishna is describing the material tree. And then Krishna is also describing there we are struggling very hard. And Krishna is also describing we are part and parcel of him. And Krishna is also describing how his world looks like. So spiritual world he is describing, material world he is describing, and he is also describing we are struggling and we should cut down. And how to cut it down also he is describing. So you see few sloka, only 7 sloka we have seen. And in 7 sloka, how much Krishna is described about the spiritual world, material world, why to cut down, why we are doing, why we are, what we are doing here, Karsati, we are struggling. Okay, you see, the living entity in this material world are my eternal fragmental part. Mama Vanso. Due to conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with 6 senses, which include the mind. We are struggling, Karsati. What we are doing here? We are jumping from one branch to another, one branch to another. But that is not our real nature. Our real nature is Mahamaya Vamso. We are part and parcel of Krishna. Okay. So you see, what is the identity of living entity? Original position is living entity are eternal part and parcel of Krishna. Living entity belongs to the Supreme Lord in the spiritual world because we are part and parcel of Krishna. Our real home is Krishna's home. Okay, but currently what we are doing? Current position, they are now struggling hard with mind and senses in this material world. We are left. So one billionaire son is there. So every person is saying to that billionaire, oh, you are son of that billionaire son, you are son of that billionaire son. And that son doesn't like that thing. He wants that everyone should take my name, okay, like that. So what he did, he left his house and he is living in the footpath now. He is trying to eat something, he is trying to sleep somewhere, like that. Struggling very hard in the material world. We have left our father's home and we are struggling very hard away from our father. Same condition, struggling very hard. Okay. Actually, we belong to that house, billionaire's house, but we are struggling in this material world. Like that, our that is the tendency to enjoy. Okay.
Krishna Shariram yadavapnoti yachapya चाप्युत्कमादेश्वरः बृहद्वैतानि संयाति वायुर्गन्धानि भाषया.
This sloka is also very nice. Okay. How we take material body, transmigration, how we do. Shariram yad avapnoti. How we take. Okay. Just like Vayur Gandhan Ivashayat. Just like aroma is there, a scent is there, and air carries the scent from one place to another. Okay. If air goes from the wrong thing or the bad smelling thing, the air will carry that aroma. And that air represents the soul. So one body is there and another body is there. So the soul is passing through this body. Okay. So just like air carries the aroma of the thing from which he passes, like if flowers are there and air is passing through this flower, then air will carry the aroma of the flower. Same thing. The soul is passing through this body, and this body has conception of like cat and dog. Okay. Human body is there, but his tendencies are like cat and dog. He doesn't have any tendency of the cat and the human being. So what he will do? The soul will carry the conception of cat and dog. His mindset, the soul, is cat and dog. So next life, how we'll take the next life is described in the next sloka. So the conception is carried by the soul, just like the air carrying the aroma. So if the air is passing through some samosa, then air will have the aroma of the samosa. If the air is passing through the flowers, he will have aroma of the flower. If the air is passing through something putrid, something who is getting like putrefying, okay, 3-4 days if you have left the food, and if air is passing through that, you will have aroma of some putrefaction, okay, like that. So whatever things the air is passing through, he will have conception of that. Same thing, the soul passing through the body, he will have conception of the body. Okay, if the conception is of like cat and dog, materialistic conception, so much enjoy, you want to enjoy. What type of enjoyment we want, he will carry that enjoyment. He will carry that conception of the he will carry the desire, and next body we will get through that desire. So let's next sloka will describe that. So first sloka is saying from one body to another, the soul carries the conception just like the air carries the aroma. Okay. Next we see. So this is described process of transmigration. Process of transmigration explained. The living entity acquires a material mind and carries different conception of life from one body to the next. Analogy as the air carries the aroma. So you see agarbatti is there. Okay. So from if air is passing through agarbatti, he will have smell of the agarbatti. Analogy there, air carrying this that aroma. Now this sloka is describing how we are getting the body. So the living entity, thus taking another gross body, obtains a certain types of ear, tongue, and nose and sense of touch, which are grouped about the mind. He thus enjoy a particular set of sense objects. So the mind is carrying. So mind comes under the sukshma sharir, or the subtle body. So mind will carry the conception from the one body to another. So our desires are never changed. You see, from one body to another, our desires are same. Whatever desires we have in the previous body, that same desire will continue. Okay, just like the air is carrying the aroma, same desires will carry. And when the desires, when we have left the older body, we'll have the new body. How? Around the mind, there will be sense objects will be clubbing. You see, thus taking another obtains a certain types of ear, tongue, nose, and sense of touch, which are grouped about the mind. So around the mind, they will accumulate, and they will particular type of body to enjoy that type of sense, that type of desire. To enjoy that type of desire, will get that type of body. So if a person is having the desire of cat and dog, he will have body of cat and dog. If a person had desire of something else, the desire accordingly, what body will fulfill that desire will get that type of body. If you want to take Hari Bhakti, can we do Hari Bhakti in the form of dog and cat? Very difficult. No, human life. Okay. So human life is there. So if our desire is to serve Lord, Lord will take us to the Krishna Loka. If that much purification is not there, mixed desire we have, we'll get the human body again. Okay, so that is the thing. And if we have purely materialistic desire, we want to have body of cat and dog, we want to eat meat, we want a body of a tiger. Okay, so like that. So whatever best body suits our desire, we'll get the body according to that. And you see, one more important thing is desires are not changing. From one body to another, desires are not changing. So what is our role in the form of human life? What is the most important thing for the human life? Is to purify the desires. Okay. Other species, they cannot change their desires. Okay. Whatever desires they have accumulated in human form of life, gradually, they will be like bhukta yogi. They will be bhogi. Okay. But human form of life is such a good benediction for us that we can change our desires and we can purify our desires. So we can make our desire fully material, or we can make our desire fully Krishna conscious. That's why this movement is Krishna conscious movement. Our consciousness, our desire should be for Krishna. Okay, so that is the thing. So it depends on us. We want a material body, we want a spiritual body, we want a lower kind of body, we want a higher kind of what we want. It depends on us and depends on our desires, what we desire. Okay. A person who doesn't know about the spiritual world, how will be desiring the spiritual world? So that's why Krishna is giving that this world is like a material tree, opposite tree, just like a reflection. This is not the original tree. Original tree is the spiritual world. Okay, Krishna is giving that thing in this chapter. How nicely Krishna is giving. So there will be mind, and around the mind there will be the senses, and then the person will get a new body according to that. Okay, so that's like aroma carries, and after the aroma there is grouping of the sense objects, and that's why we get the body. Okay, yes, Mataji.
Utkramantam sitam vapi bunjanam vagunanditam vimudānānupashyanti pashyanti jnanachakshushah.
Fools cannot see. Who can see? Pashyanti jnana chakshusha. A person who has jnana chakshu can see. Okay. Vimudha nanu pashyanti. Vimudha cannot see. The person who is fool cannot see how he is changing the body. But pashyanti jnana chakshusha. A person who is knowledge can see how he is changing the body. The foolish cannot understand how a living entity can quit his body, nor can they understand what sort of body he enjoys under the spell of the modes of nature. He cannot understand. Who can understand it? But one whose eyes are trained in knowledge can see all this. Pashyati jnana chakshusha. A person who has jnana, the knowledge. So Krishna is giving the knowledge already in this chapter, that this world is material tree. You have to cut this material tree with detachment. The spiritual world is also there, where there is no sun, moon, nothing is required. And once you go there, you cannot come. You don't need to come back to this world. But what we are doing, we are struggling hard, very hard in this material world only due to our senses objects. Okay. So nicely Krishna is describing. See, Purushottam Yoga chapter, small chapter, but very nice. Okay. One whose eyes are trained in this knowledge which Krishna has given can understand how the living entity is changing the body. Okay. So now you understand what is the process of transmigration from one body to another. So you see, two things are there. A person who doesn't know how the car works, if any problem is there in the car, he will be like, what has happened? Okay, he will be in trouble. But a person whose eyes are trained, he can see how the things are working, how the things are going wrong. So he will just plug one wire and the car will be working again. Whose eyes are trained in knowledge, they can see how the things are happening. Okay. The endeavoring transcendentalist who is situated in self-realization can see all this clearly. The person who knows, whose eyes are in jnana, they can see. How? Situated in self-realization. who knows, who has knowledge of self. But those who are not situated in self-realization cannot see what is taking place, though they may try to. Whose eyes are not trained. And self-realization, the thing is self-realization. A person who is not self-realized cannot see what is happening. A person who is self-realized, he will know that I am not this body, I am soul, and how the soul is changing the body, and how I can quit this body, how I can go to Krishna Loka. Okay. So the result is those not trained in knowledge is ignorance. What is the cure for this ignorance? Krishna says the knowledge. Those who are trained can see all this clearly because their mind is clarified by yoga practice and thus situated in self-realization. But those whose mind are not developed and who are not situated in self-realization cannot see what is taking place, though they may try to see. Bhakti yoga is actual yoga. Yoga means to be with God, who is thinking about God. Okay, so that is the thing. Self-realization can be called as yoga. A person who knows what is his nature, okay, and how he can connect to. Yoga means he is thinking about Krishna, he is in connection with Krishna. We are here and we are calling with mobile with some other person. We are connected with that person. Okay, same thing. We are here, but if you are connected with Krishna, that is called yoga. So Bhakti yoga or the actual yoga have realized self, world, and the Supreme Lord, and they can see how the things are working. Okay, so who is a yogi? A yogi is a person who is in connection with Krishna. A person who is connected to Krishna is called yogi. Okay. Now, the 12 to 15, Purushottam Yoga, Krishna's position as maintainer. So let's see what is Krishna's position. So Krishna is the maintainer. How Krishna is maintainer? You see, splendor of the sun, which dissipates the darkness of this whole world, comes from me. And the splendor of the moon and the splendor of fire are also from me. So all the splendor are coming from Krishna. Krishna is the maintainer. Krishna is describing his position. So the splendor of sun, moon, fire, electricity, everything is coming from Krishna. Krishna is the maintainer of all the material world. What is the benefit of such a conception of life as given in the verse? So Krishna is actually maintainer of all the things. Okay, so it is described here that Krishna is the maintainer. Sun, moon, electricity. Okay, and next sloka you see how Krishna is maintaining. It is described. Yes, Mataji.
Samavishya cha bhutani dharayam yaham ojasa ushnami chaushadhi sarvaha somo bhutva rasatmakaha.
I enter into each planet and by my energy they stay in orbit. I become the moon and thereby supply the juice of life to all the vegetables. You see, law of transmigration Krishna described, law of gravity also Krishna is describing. So many laws are working in this material nature, but scientists, very few law they are able to apprehend, and with the few law they are trying to make they try to understand the things, but it is very much impossible because there is no end of this material world. Tree is unlimited. How much we can see, how much we can determine. So many laws are there. The world is working under so many laws. Gradually, some law we are trying to see and understand. How much we'll be able to see. Okay. So that the thing is that so many these are called natural technology. Natural technology is there. So much natural technology is there. Scientists are trying to understand few natural technology and try to make the things. Okay, so that is the thing. So much natural technology is already existing. So it is law of gravity. Scientists have not made the law of gravity. Law of gravity is already there, and it is working. Law of transmigration is already there, and it is working. We are not able to see because we are ignorant. Okay, so that is the thing, and it is working under Krishna's direction. It is due to Krishna's energy. I enter in each planet, and by my energy, they stay in orbit. Scientists may say law of gravity is there, but from where law of gravity is coming? My energy, they stay in orbit. From my energy, Krishna's energy. So that law of gravity, who is making? Who is the super scientist? Who is making the law of gravity? Krishna is the super scientist who is making the law of gravity, and scientists are trying to understand the law of gravity little. Okay, so that is the thing. I become the moon and thereby supply the juice of life to all the vegetables. Who can supply life to all the vegetables? Scientists are not able to make even a single vegetable. They are just relying on the nature. Okay. No, nothing till now has been made by scientists which can be eaten. Can we eat anything which is made by science? Science has not made any grain, nothing. Okay. So that is the thing. So many things are there in the nature. Science are just trying to replicate the things, but still life cannot be made through science. Okay. Life, because living entity, it is living entity and part and parcel of Krishna. Okay. So Krishna is the maintainer of all the world, all the planetary system. Krishna is maintaining. The Lord holds the planetary systems, which gives the vegetables. Vegetables are nourished by the moonshine, which comes from the Lord only. All the planetary system Krishna is maintaining. You see, Krishna is holding out this planet. Yes,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna. Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva Praninam Deham Ashritaha Pranapana Samayuktva Vachamyanam Chaturvidham.
I am the fire of digestion in every living body, and I am the air of life, outgoing and incoming, by which I digest the four kinds of food stuffs. Digestion is Krishna. Okay, so you see, this is the abdomen. Abdomen. Krishna is the fire of digestion. This fire is Krishna. It represents Krishna. Okay, and I am the air of life, outgoing and incoming, by which I digest four kinds of food stuff. Four kinds of food stuff. You, when you read next time Gita, this chapter, you tell me what are the four kinds of food stuff Krishna is describing. Okay. So four kinds of food stuff. So Krishna is the fire of digestion. Krishna is digesting. We eat, just eat, and we don't know how the things are happening, how the food is getting digested, how the food is getting absorbed. Who is directing all those things? How it is getting directed, how the things are working inside. We don't know. Okay. Science may say, okay, we know that food is getting absorbed, then food is through blood, it is getting through different part. But how? Who is making them do? Okay. How they are working, why they are working like that? Who is directing all these things? Krishna. Okay. So Krishna says, I am doing all those things. So the big things Krishna is maintaining, all the planetary system he is maintaining, and small things also he is maintaining in our body. Big planets, small things, both Krishna is maintaining. Okay. Four kinds of food stuffs. To digest, we need Krishna's energy as fire and life air. So, it is written. It is the four kinds of food stuffs are swallowed, chewed, licked, and sucked. Okay. So these are the four kinds of food stuff. The food which can be swallowed, food which can be chewed, food which can be licked, and food which can be sucked. So these are the four kinds of food stuffs which Krishna is digesting. Okay. So this sloka is
Hare
also very
Krishna.
nice. Yes, Mataji.
Sarvasya chaham hriti sannivishtaha matta smritirjnanam apohanam cha vedescha sarveraham eva vedyo vedanta krit vedavid eva chaham.
You see Krishna's position as maintainer. Sarvasya chaham hriday sannivishto. Sarvasya means every one. Cha aham hriday sannivishto. Hriday means I am sitting in everyone's heart. Hriday sannivishto. Matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha. From me comes smriti, means remembrance, knowledge, jnanam, apohanam, forgetfulness. So all these things come from Krishna. Vedaischa sarvar aham eva vedyo. Vedaischa sarvar, from all the Veda, aham eva vedyo, I am to be the known. Aham eva vedyo. So from all the Vedas, the conclusion is me only. From all the Vedas, the goal of knowledge is me only. From all the Veda, I am to be the known only. Vedanta krit, I am the maker of the Vedanta. Vedavit eva chaham. Vedavit, I am the knower of the Veda. Vedavit means knower of the Veda. So Krishna is everything. Krishna is saying, the Veda's goal is me only. Creator of the Vedanta is me only. Knower of the Veda is me only. Okay. So I am seated in everyone's heart. From me comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta and I am the knower of the Vedas. So nice sloka. Sarvasya chaham hriday sannivishto. He's sitting with us, everyone's heart. He's maintaining our body. He's maintaining all the planetary system as well as body. Okay. Sarvasya chaham hriday sannivishto. Matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha. Remembrance, forgetfulness, and knowledge. Vedaisya sarvairaham eva Veda. From every Veda, Krishna is to be known. And Vedanta Krit, Vedavit eva chaham. He is the creator of the Veda, he is the knower of the Veda. So now we are coming to section D, that is 3 sloka of Bhagavad Gita, summarizing the Veda and Vedanta, kinds of living entity. Okay, so two kinds of living entities are there actually. So there are 2 classes of being, the fallible and infallible. In the material world, every entity is fallible, and in the spiritual world, every entity is infallible. 2 kinds of living entities are there. We, as the prisoner in this material world, we are the infallible. We are the fallible. We can fall down, fallible. But the outside the prison, the person who is in the city, or the spiritual world person, the person who is in the spiritual world, they are called infallible. They do not fall from their position. Okay. Beside these two, there is the greatest living personality, the Lord Himself, who has entered into this world and is maintaining them. So beside the spiritual living entity and the material living entity, there is one other person, and that person is Supreme Personality of Godhead, okay, who is maintaining all these 2 worlds. Okay. Yes, Mataji.
Yasmaksharam atitoham aksharaadapi chotamaha adosmi lokavedecha prathita purushottamaha.
So because I am transcendental beyond both the fallible and the infallible, and because I am the greatest, I am celebrated both in the world and in the Vedas as the Supreme Person. Okay. Krishna is celebrated as the Supreme Person in the Veda. So many places you will find, whole Bhagavatam will feel that Krishna is the Supreme Person everywhere. Okay. So 15.6, there are 2 kinds of living entity. So these are the 3 sloka. 2 kinds of living entity, fallible, or fallible is called conditioned living entity, who is in material world, or infallible, or liberated living entity, who is in the spiritual world. Supreme Soul is the master of both. He is the greatest personality. He enters the 3 world and then maintains them. Okay. And then Krishna, I am that Supreme Soul, celebrated both in the material, in the world, and in the Veda as the Supreme Person. So these are the 3 slokas. 3 sloki Gita. So you see, Kshirodakshay Vishnu is there. All the demigods are coming. The Kshirodakshay Vishnu, they are taking shelter of Vishnu. Brahmaji describing about Krishna, about the Vishnu. You see here, Bhagavatam story. You see, Shivji, he's talking to Parvati, Bhagavatam, okay, glories of Krishna.
Yo mam evam asum modo janati purushottamam prasarva visbhajati mam sarva bhavena bharata.
Whoever knows me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead without doubting is to be understood as the knower of everything, and he therefore engages himself in full devotional service, O son of Bharata. Who knows the Supreme Personal, who knows the Supreme Personality of Godhead without doubting is to be understood as the knower of everything. The goal of Veda is to know Krishna, and a person who knows that Krishna is the Supreme Person is the knower of the Veda. Okay. And he therefore engages himself in full devotional service, O son of Bharata. The person who knows this will engage in the full devotional service of Krishna. Now, last part. This is the most confidential part of Vedic scriptures. So many Vedas, so many Vedic knowledge there. And from every Vedic knowledge, the most confidential thing is devotional service. To whom? So everyone is having the attitude of serving. Some person is serving the family, some person is serving the wife, some person serving the husband, some person serving the children, some person serving the society, some person serving a office, some person serving the nation, maybe nationalist, they're serving, some person maybe serving a part of community. Every person is having the attitude of serving, but whom to serve, that is the most confidential part. Who is the supreme person we should serve, that we can attain that the transcendental nature. That is the most confidential part. And the person, the transcendental is searching for them, searching for them, searching for them. So many lifetime they will search. The Jnani, Bahunam Janma Namante. The Jnani take many births to understand that whom to surrender. And finally they will surrender to Krishna, and then they can attain the spiritual kingdom. So it is actually very the confidential thing, whom to surrender. Who is the supreme person we should surrender? And Krishna is giving that knowledge very freely, liberally to Arjuna. And he's saying, this is the most confidential part of the Vedic scripture, O sinless one, and it is disclosed now by me. Krishna is disclosing that part now. Whoever understands this will become wise. What is the definition of wise? A person who knows this real condition, who knows what is the purpose of his life, who knows to whom we should serve. All persons are serving. You see, every person is serving. Without serving, no person can live. Every person is serving other person. But whom to serve is the most important question. And Krishna is giving that whom to serve part. And that Jnani will take many births to understand whom to serve. And Krishna is giving that knowledge very nicely in this sloka, okay, in this whole Bhagavad Gita. And he's saying, the most confidential part I'm giving to you, Arjuna. Whoever understands this will become a Jnani, who will become wise. And his endeavor will know perfection. And then whatever he will do, he will be perfect. How nice this chapter is. How Krishna is describing the Purushottam Yoga, how we can attain the Purushottam. Okay. So this was the last sloka, 5.20. So Krishna is saying, summary of Purushottam Yoga. Knowledge explained in this chapter is the essence of Vedanta and the most confidential part, substance of the Veda. Then, what is the result of understanding? One will become wise and his endeavor will know perfection. Perfection means attaining the supreme. What is the qualification to understand the Purushottam Yoga? Sinlessness, the pure life. Okay, so that is the things we have learned in this chapter, Purushottam Yoga. Let's summarize the chapter. So verse number 1 to 5, we have read, becoming detached from material world, reflection of the spiritual world. So this material world is a reflection of the spiritual world, perverted. Then from section B, from verses 6 to 11, Purushottam Yoga, the transmigration, how we change the body, how we get the new body in the next life after quitting this body, how a soul gets new body. That is the law of transmigration we have read. And then section C, 12 to 15, Purushottam Yoga, Krishna's position as the maintainer. And then last D part, 16 to 20, Purushottam Yoga, the 3 sloka Bhagavad Gita, summarizing the Veda and Vedanta and the 2 kinds of living entity we have read. Okay. So that is the summary of today's chapter, 15th chapter. So we'll take up the question answer, which was asked for 13th chapter. Actually, that day we could not take. So we're taking today. Okay. So I'll just open the question answer. 2 questions actually were there.
I pasted it.
You pasted, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. So questions are 13.5 purport. Mention Ananda Maya stage as the supreme stage of realization of all blissful nature. Is Krishna conscious enough to reach the Anandamaya stage? Krishna consciousness, our consciousness in Krishna only. We have been reading through all these days. Krishna consciousness, the desire to purify. If our desires are fully Krishna conscious, nothing more is needed. Ananda Bhuta stage. Okay, Anandamaya stage, the final stage. Okay, Krishna consciousness, our consciousness is merged with Krishna. We are with Krishna. We are a yogi, like that. Okay, and that stage, nothing we need more. Okay, that we have discussed in today's chapter. That the ultimate stage is Krishna conscious stage. We attain Krishna, we become a yogi. Okay, our consciousness should be with Krishna. Okay, our desire should be aligned with Krishna, nothing more. Okay. Chapter 13, verse 6 mentions Pradhana as unmanifested stage of material nature. What is the function of Pradhana? If it is unmanifested, how do we experience it? So So the pradhana means the main material thing. Okay, the main material thing, or the unmanifested, or it is called Mahat Tattva. Okay, and it is the Mahat Tattva, the basis of all the material manifestation. Okay, so from which the material manifestation will spring. Okay, so that is called pradhana, or the main tattva. Okay, of this material creation. So that pradhana comes out from the pores of the Karma Daksha Vishnu. Okay, that is the main tattva from which the material world is being created, and then jiva will enter. Okay. Okay, so these two were the question. So I hope you have understood 15th chapter. Very nice chapter. Actually, these all each chapter is very nice when you start reading it. You will feel that how nicely Krishna is explaining this material world, this spiritual world, our problems, what we should do, what is our karma, what we should do. That is the main thing, and what we have missed through all these years. Okay, so those Krishna describe very nicely. When we read, we take shelter of Krishna. That is the thing. Okay, so I hope you will be like reading out, and then you will be applying. Okay, and chanting. Okay, keep chanting. Okay, yes, Mataji, you want to speak anything? Vijay Lakshmi, Mataji.
Yes, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, can you please explain me a bit about Karuna Dakshaya Vishnu, Karana Dakshaya Vishnu, Garbho Dakshaya Vishnu, and Shiro Dakshaya Vishnu. Shiro Dakshaya Vishnu is from that sea, ocean, Milky Ocean, and Karana Dakshaya Vishnu and Garbho Dakshaya Vishnu. Can you explain more, Prabhuji? I'm a bit confused with this.
Mataji, once I have explained the Goloka chart. That day I have explained all the things. Okay, I hope you have done the class, Mataji. That class which when I explained the Goloka chart.
Yes, Prabhuji, I understood, but proper clear thing I am not able to understand. Garbhodaya Dakshaya Vishnu is one, from his navel only Brahmaji came. Is it correct,
Yes.
Mata? Yes.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Shiro
So,
Dakshaya Vishnu is
Shiro Dakshaya Vishnu is the Paramatma form. Okay, which
Paramatma
enters
form.
in every living entity, every atom. That is called the Shiro
Karna
Dakshaya
Dakshaya
Vishnu.
Vishnu is
Karna
still
Dakshaya
of
Vishnu. Yeah, Karna Dakshaya Vishnu is the Vishnu from where all the Mahat Tattva will come out. Okay, Mahat Tattva will come out, and the Jiva will be coming out. Okay, so
he is residing in our heart, Prabhuji? Karna
Karna
Dakshaya Vishnu.
Ocean. So Karna Dakshaya Vishnu is residing in Karna Ocean. Okay,
Karna Ocean.
Karna Ocean. Garbho Dakshaya Vishnu, Garbho Dakshaya Vishnu. 1 minute. Okay, so 3 Vishnus are there.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Karna Dakshaya Vishnu, from which all the Mahat Tattva will come out and the Jiva will come out. Okay, then comes the Garbho Dakshaya Vishnu. Garbho Dakshaya Vishnu is responsible for, so the main creation starts from the Karna Dakshaya Vishnu, and Garbho Dakshaya Vishnu will create the diversity, the divisions, 14 planetary system through Brahma. Okay, so the diversity is being created through Garbho Dakshaya Vishnu. Okay, so Brahma will be creating the 14 planetary systems. So all the diversity in the material world is created by Garbho Dakshaya Vishnu. Then Shiro Dakshaya Vishnu will enter in every atom for the maintenance part. Okay, so for maintaining, he will enter in every atom. So that is called Shiro Dakshaya Vishnu. Karna Dakshaya Vishnu, Garbho Dakshaya Vishnu, and Shiro Dakshaya Vishnu. 3 Vishnu planetary portions. Okay.
Dhanyavad, Prabhuji. I understood now. Thank you so much.
Yes, yes. So 3 Vishnus are there. So if the detail I have explained when I was explaining Goloka chart, I think when
I understood, Prabhuji. Firbi, I'm having that confusion. Where are they coming? That way I was a bit confused. Now it is clearly
Okay.
I understood. Prabhuji.
Yes, yes.
Dhanyavad.
Okay, Mataji.
Thank you.
Okay, Mataji. Okay, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anyone want to say? Okay. So last chapter there was no question. 14th chapter, no question. Okay. I
Yes,
hope I want some. If you have any question, you please ask, so that in the search of question, I will at least read out and then I will come out with answers. Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes,
Deepa here.
Mataji.
Can you tell me the origin of Lord Shiva?
Lord Shiva's origin is from when that glance Vishnu. Okay. So
The
Vishnu.
Sambhu form is the origin of Lord Shiva.
So there are 12 Rudras are mentioned. Okay. But one Rudra is there, which is for the creation part, and one Rudra is there for annihilation also. Okay, so one Rudra is different, that is for annihilation. This Rudra is for creation, that comes from the glance of the Vishnu. Okay, that Rudra comes from the glance of the Vishnu. Okay, that is the plenary portion of the Karnadaksha Vishnu only, but who is in contact with the material nature. That is called the position of Lord Shiva. Contact of the material world. Okay, so if there is no contact, that is called Karnadaksha Vishnu. If it is having contact, it is called Shiva. Okay.
Okay, Prabhuji, I have one more question.
Yes, ma'am.
Do we consider Lord Brahma and Shiva under demigods?
So Lord Brahma is totally in the material world. Okay, so that is a demigod only. But Lord Shiva's position is completely different. Okay, I told you, he is just a portion of this Vishnu only, but in the material contact. Okay, so that due to that material contact, he is directly involved in material things. Okay, and the material creation, and in touch with the Maya. Okay, that's why his position a little bit lower. Okay, so that's why he is not supreme person. Also, he is not demigod. Also, he is in between. His position is in between. That is called Mahadev. Okay, Dev. So all the devas are there, and above all them is the Mahadev. Okay.
So
Thank you,
above all
Prabhuji.
demigods, Shivaji is there, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Above all demigods, Shivaji's position is there.
Yes,
Then
his position is position of a guru. Okay, he is the ultimate guru. Okay, his position is like that. So many people, you will see that they are worshipping Lord Shiva. Okay, actually they are worshipping the Guru Tattva. They believe in Guru Tattva. So ultimate thing they think as the Guru Tattva is the ultimate thing, but ultimate thing is above the Guru Tattva. Guru's position is to connect ourselves to the Supreme. Okay, so the people who are worshipping the Shiv Tattva, they are actually worshipping the Guru Tattva. Okay, they are actually the worshippers of Guru. Okay. Okay, we'll meet next time. Till 8 we have completed. So 6:30 we have started, till 8 we have completed. A small chapter, but very nice. I hope you have understood. Okay, so we'll meet again with the 16th chapter. 16th chapter also very nice. Okay, I'll see the chapters. When you start reading, it will be very nice to read out. Okay, read slowly, read again and again, so that you will understand. And how nicely Krishna is giving that knowledge, you understand that thing, that sweetness, that's why it is called a Gita. It's just like a Gita. Once you start reading, you will be like, wow, how beautiful these things are, and how I'm listening to these things, and why I am involved in this material thing. You will question yourself. Okay, and maybe in first when you are reading first time, you won't have this question, but again and again when you start reading, these questions will come out, and you will see how nicely Krishna is answering. You will understand how nicely Arjuna is asking question, and how nicely Krishna is giving the answer. You will understand that thing. Okay, that how Krishna, the questions which are coming to us, Arjuna is asking those questions, and how Krishna is very nicely answering those things. So the nice question, the person who is asking the question is also very intelligent, and the person who is giving the knowledge the answer is also very intelligent, and you see how nicely these things are. That's why it is called Bhagavad Gita. It is like a Gita of Bhagavan. Okay.
Songs of
So,
Bhagavan.
yes. So you will understand those things when reading again and again. Okay. When we are chanting again and again, then only it will be able, you will be able to understand. Otherwise, it will like you come and go and read. Nothing is going to change like that. Okay? So we'll meet again. 16th chapter, very nicely. I'll try to describe to you so that you read and you can get the nectar what is there in chapter number 16. Okay. We'll meet next week. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
devotees.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpatarubhascha kripa sindhu bhavevacha patitanam